Test. I was visiting a store for one of the fashion brands I used to create the design directions for, and a woman came up to me holding a pink coat, and she wanted to know what I thought about it on her. Then she paused and said, "It's not me, is it?" Hi everyone, today we're at my favourite spot, by the ocean. And I want to talk with you about how so many of us are trying to change our lives without really asking ourselves if we're actually becoming the right person. You can create a life that checks all the boxes, yet still somehow doesn't feel right. Maybe you have the dream job or house, but your personal life feels empty and you're lonely. Your fast-paced jet-setter life looks exciting on the outside, but inside you're really craving something more slower, grounded and real. You're in a relationship with someone very attractive or successful, but you've changed yourself so much you don't even recognize yourself anymore. Or you look good, put together and seem healthy, but internally you feel off with poor habits, overstimulation and no balance. And it creates this quiet feeling like something isn't fully aligned. I remember moments that stayed with me. I was visiting a store for one of the fashion brands I used to create the design directions for, and a woman came up to me holding a pink coat, and she wanted to know what I thought about it on her. Then she paused and said, "It's not me, is it?" I told her, "If you like it, that's a clear sign that it is you." And what stayed with me wasn't the coat, it was how quickly she dismissed herself. She was trying to be someone more in line with what others expected of her, rather than to allowing herself to choose what she actually liked. And I felt like she was holding herself back from the privilege of being herself. Now there's a quote by Carl Jung that I keep coming back to. It goes, "The privilege of a lifetime is to become who we truly are." And this sounds logical, but very often, without even being aware of it, we end up building a life not around who we truly are, but who we think we should be. When there's a gap between what we feel and what we project, life starts to feel disconnected. We can achieve success after success and then still never feel satisfied. But when things come into coherence, life feels different. It's easier, more natural and in flow. Instead of pushing against ourselves, everything begins to move together as one in the same direction. And when what you feel and what you project are aligned, life becomes a symphony. So a year ago, I tried an experiment. For 30 days, I acted like my future self. And a lot of us, myself included, try to improve our lives by simply following the extreme routines of highly successful people, waking up at 5 a.m, meditating half an hour first thing in the morning, going to the gym before work, doing the 10-step Korean skincare routine, reading 3 books a week and stacking habits like crazy. But this just created a full schedule and wasn't sustainable in the long run. So this time I took a more personalized approach. I designed a future self not by replicating unrealistic generic influencer routines or following productivity formulas, but by building a grounded vision for my life based on my core values. Our values are the foundation of what makes us feel fulfilled. When our success is aligned with our values, it actually feels meaningful. I created a list with the most common values, selected and grouped the ones that felt the most aligned, and even if some of them didn't feel as exciting, like security, and didn't necessarily match the muse I was hoping to portray, I had to stay honest and include them in my selection. As it's very hard to change our core values, and it's better to work with what we already have. Living in alignment with our real values is always more effective than performing something that isn't us. And if you would like to download this value sheet for free, leave a comment with my values below and it will be shared with you. And if you're interested in undertaking a 30-day values-based identity transformation yourself, I've created a guided workbook with daily exercises to help you uncover different aspects of yourself and reconnect with your core. You can find it through the link in the description. With those values as the foundation, I then painted a picture of my future self. How she moves, how she dresses, her daily routine, her diet, her standards, what she prioritizes, what she says yes to and what she says no to. And this became the anchor and helped me stay intentional and aligned even on busy days when I would otherwise have operated on autopilot. Throughout the day, I would frequently pause and check in with that vision by asking, what would she do? For example, when I was about to eat a sweet pastry for the second day in a row, I stopped and pointed out to myself, this is the second day now. It's on track to becoming a routine. Then I asked myself, why do I want to eat this pastry, and do I actually want this to become a habit? The answer was, I wanted to eat it because I was feeling stressed, and no, I did not want this to become a habit. Being aware of this, I put the pastry back and I asked myself, what would future me do instead? And I replaced it with a positive action that would serve as a better way to de-stress, playing the guitar. And it was a way of retraining myself to be more intentional with habits that support my value of healthy living and help me feel good in the long term. Now I have to admit that I still sometimes slip back into old habits, like checking my phone first thing in the morning. But these moments have become less frequent, and being intentional has made me less reactive, with fewer mindless behaviours and less internal negotiation. As I have a clear picture of the identity I'm stepping into and what truly fulfills me in the long run. Beyond the 30 days, things continue to change. Sugar and processed snacks didn't make it into my shopping basket anymore. I no longer have a TV, and I even moved to another country. And all of this was to better support the version of myself that felt the most true. And it's not something that happens overnight. It's gradual, ongoing, and ever evolving. And at the end of my life, I hope to be able to say that I had the privilege of living in a way that felt true to who I am. We don't need to add more complexity, business, or pressure to our lives. We need to pause, gain clarity, and begin again from a blank canvas in greater alignment. And from there, we can start making choices that reflect what we value and who we're becoming. Because when you live a life that feels true to who you are, it doesn't just look good, it feels right. So I hope you enjoyed this kind of video. Leave a comment if any part of this resonated with you, especially if there's an area in your life you feel isn't quite in alignment right now. Consider subscribing as I post content weekly, and I'll see you next time.